tonight on KGW News.
Come out of the front door now with your hands above your head.
Police arrest a man they say caused havoc on I-5, slashing tires, then leaving a bomb behind. Plus,
it is devastating to watch this unfold in my city.
Hear from those who witnessed ICE take a fifth asylum seeker into custody and why his lawyer was frustrated by what those agents told her. Then, the performance on the Oregon House floor that had most Republicans walking out. And the Portland sports world abuzz over this image, what it could mean when it comes to the future team's name in the WNBA. A very good evening, everyone. David Molko with you on this Thursday. We begin tonight with a weather impact alert, with the first weekend of summer about to feel like anything but as we swap out the sunshine for something else. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Matt Savino tracking the wet and cool weekend ahead. Matt?
Yep, we got weather impact alerts for Friday and Saturday. We're going to be looking at heavy downpours, especially on Saturday, so you want to think about that as you're driving. And there'll be two different days. Tomorrow, we've got an excellent chance of getting some strong showers, downpours, and even thunderstorms. Right now, we've had some thunderstorms in eastern Oregon ahead of the weather system that's coming in. We look at northwest Oregon and off the coast of Washington. We're just beginning to see some sprinkles showing up there, but the radar is going to be busy over the next couple of days. Now, check out these records. Tomorrow's record cool high temperature is 55, and the record rainfall 1.46 inches. I think those will remain intact, but on Saturday, the record cool high is 60 and the rainfall is less than half an inch. Both of those are in jeopardy, as I think we'll stay in the upper 50s. So it may end up being the coolest June 21st that we've ever had on record here in Portland. Pretty amazing. So scattered showers and thunderstorms develop tomorrow. Steady rain on Saturday, especially in the morning and early afternoon. Showers will end Saturday evening and things will begin to improve. But that's not the only part of the story, David, because we're also watching the potential for snow in the Cascades. There will be new snow. I'll let you know how much and when in a bit. Back to you.
Snow and the summer solstice. Thanks, Matt. See you in a few. In an update tonight, a man suspected of leaving a homemade bomb near I-5 over the weekend is now behind bars after authorities tracked him down in northeast Portland. Catherine Cook talked with neighbors who watched the police response. Catherine?
And David, Portland's CERT team and federal agents surrounded the house, leaving neighbors pretty concerned. Officers took their time serving the search warrant in case there were other explosives in the house.
This is the Portland Police Bureau. We have a search warrant.
Loud hails by Portland police cut through midday calm Thursday afternoon near Northeast 15th and Wygant.
Come out of the front door now with your hands above your head.
My mind was racing of what is happening.
Neighbor Megan Sutton took this video. It shows Portland's CERT team with guns drawn before taking one man into custody. The bomb squad was also there, and the FBI.
We're like, what's going on? Is this an ICE raid? Is this federal? We had no clue.
Police were serving a search warrant connected to a disturbance involving an explosive device on I-5 Saturday night. Police say 38-year-old Alexander Wick was at the Failing Street pedestrian bridge throwing several items into traffic, including construction cones. Police shared this image of Wick captured by a dash cam. As drivers stopped, police say Wick slashed their tires, threatened them with a screwdriver, and said he had a bomb, which he left along I-5 before leaving the scene. Police shut down I-5 for nearly an hour while the bomb squad disabled the improvised explosive device.
I had no clue. We all were dumbfounded when the situation came by. I walk past the house all the time. I've never seen any suspicious activity.
A Portland fire investigator ID'd Wick, which led officers to the house Thursday. Wick was booked on several charges, including possession of a destructive device, first-degree criminal mischief, and attempted arson.
Investigators are looking for video evidence or eyewitness accounts of Saturday's incident along I-5. If you can help, contact Portland Police. Wick is set to appear in court tomorrow. David.
Catherine Cook in the newsroom. Thank you, Catherine. Well, let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, starting in Columbia County, where a brush fire forced some people to evacuate this afternoon. This was just outside St. Helens city limits near Railroad Avenue and 1st Street, threatening a dozen homes and businesses.
There was a lot of smoke. It was like a big cloud of smoke over these trees, and you could tell that it was pretty close. And it was just like, My grandkids live in the neighborhood, and we need to get out of here.
No kidding. Fire crews quickly knocked it down. Investigators are now trying to figure out what sparked it, though they say it is human caused. In Hazeldale, one person is dead and another injured after a fire broke out at an apartment complex overnight. Neighbors at the Ridgecrest apartment say they heard fire alarms go off, followed by an explosion, and then the second floor of the complex collapsed.
That's the worst part of the whole thing, knowing somebody died in it. It definitely strikes home that at any moment somebody could just have an accident and your stuff's all gone in an instant as well.
That fire displaced at least 10 families. No word yet on the cause. Tonight, all lanes of I-205 have reopened in East Portland following a bit of a hazmat situation. Authorities say a box truck crashed between Burnside and Gleason, puncturing a barrel carrying hydrofluoric acid. Portland Fire and Rescue hazmat crews quickly responded and contained that spill within an hour. No one was hurt. And we now know the name of the cyclist hit by a MAX train yesterday in southeast Portland. Authorities have identified him as Michael O'Callahan. He's believed to be the same man who ran in the last race for mayor. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says O'Callahan rode around lowered crossing arms at Southeast Division and 8th before being hit by an Orange Line train. On his campaign website, O'Callahan said he lived unhoused in Portland for the last 15 years and had a life full of political activism.
And I was like, oh my God, that was gunfire. So I sat there for a moment or two thinking, do I need to call the police?
Neighbors a bit rattled in North Portland this evening after a homeowner shot and injured an intruder, he says, kicked in the front door of his home and in the middle of the night. The suspected intruder, 35-year-old Austin Mason Jones, is now facing a first-degree burglary charge. This all happened just before 1:30 in the morning on North Baldwin Street. The homeowner didn't want to go on camera, but told us the suspect was banging on his door for about 10 minutes. He says he told the man he was armed, and when the intruder eventually broke in, he fired 4 shots.
Rightfully so. That's ridiculous. So it's terrifying all the way around.
Speaking generally, what we ask people to do is similar to what we see here, where if someone is trying to break into your home, certainly people have a right to defend themselves and defend their homes.
The suspect is in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The homeowner has not been charged. Now to an update on the latest ICE arrest in Portland, which was breaking news last night at 11. This video showing the moments ICE agents detained a man in the streets of downtown Portland. That Columbia national, according to court documents, is at least the 5th asylum seeker taken into custody after an immigration hearing. Celine Stevens talked with his lawyer and the people who recorded that video.
It is devastating to watch this unfold in my city.
This video, taken by Tristan Edwards Wednesday morning, shows a man being taken away from his car in downtown Portland and moved into a black SUV by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. Edwards and her husband, Grant Hartley, who are both attorneys, were arriving to work when they came across this scene.
I walked around and I saw that his badge said ICE on it, and so I immediately got my phone out and started recording the interaction.
According to court documents, the man detained, identified as EATB, is from Colombia and is seeking asylum. His attorney, Yesenia Martinez, who was the woman seen in the video, says he had just appeared in immigration court with his mother when soon after leaving, he was pulled over.
I didn't think he would necessarily be detained in the manner that he was detained, and I thought that after the case was going to continue that he wasn't necessarily at risk for being detained because he had been following all his requirements.
Hartley and Edwards watching it all unfold from the sidewalk.
I think it's a very helpless feeling when you're an advocate for somebody and your job is to defend their rights and you see those rights being violated, but there's very little you can do because these are federal officers.
You can imagine that for anybody who is an immigrant right now, I am sure it is a terrifying time to even be alive.
Martinez says an agent claimed her client had missed a check-in.
I said, no, he hasn't, because those are things that I monitor with my clients to make sure that they're complying with all of the requirements to not be detained. I showed them the phone, and then their story changed. Well, he's an enforcement priority.
I reached out to ICE to find out more about the specifics related to EATB's case, but I have not yet heard back. Martinez says that she was not allowed to see her client at the Portland ICE facility on Wednesday and that he's now being held in a detention center in Tacoma. In downtown Portland, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
New tonight, the Trump administration is planning to eliminate part of the 988 suicide prevention line that is dedicated to helping LGBTQ+ people. While the general number will still be available, a specialized option that launched in 2022 is being scaled back. It features crisis counselors trained to work with LGBTQ+ youth and younger adults. And one provider that partners with 988 in Washington is worried.
Getting more and more calls from people who are part of the LGBTQ+ community, who are very afraid, who also are really concerned about their own mental health, but again, their own safety in the community as they're seeing things happen with our federal government.
That dedicated line is expected to end in mid-July. Oregon state lawmakers are looking for more ways to fund wildfire fighting, and now a new amendment targets a nicotine product. The idea to tax nicotine pouches. The move would add a 65-cent per tax on tins of 20 pouches or less. That's per tin, and sponsors estimate it'll raise about $30 million. The amendment also pulls interest revenue from the state's rainy day fund to double the impact.
It's something we can do right now, again, for a rapidly growing market that is not currently taxed, that we can find the revenue that, that we need to keep our community safe.
This is just one possible addition to a huge wildfire funding plan the governor and legislators are trying to work out before the session ends just 10 days from now.